Joining us now on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline is our good friend and dual-threat BYUtv sports analyst, Blaine Fowler. Blaine, we're going to start with basketball. For you, what was the best thing about BYU's win at Gonzaga?
Well, they proved that they could do something that I wasn't sure they could do, and that is they went on the road. They did not shoot the basketball particularly well. They were miserable from behind the three-point line. And I was thinking going into the game, man, I just hope that Emery and Fisher can knock down threes because they're going to have to do it to kind of offset this great front line of the Zags. They won it anyhow. They won it with sheer determination, attacking the rim, and playing the best defense I've seen this BYU team play in a long, long time. So to win on the road ugly against a top 25 team, I was so impressed with it. It was awesome.
BYU had some concerns Saturday after the San Francisco game. Gave up 92 in a game that you helped call with Dave on BYUtv. And Dave Rose was adamant, we need to be better at the point of attack on defense. What did BYU do defensively that was so good?
Well, what Gonzaga does so well is they attack you, like San Francisco does, off the dribble. Their ball movement is really, really good. So they create seams in your defense, then they attack it, and when you go to help, they find open shooters, whether it's good internal passing for easy buckets at the rim or they kick it outside to wide open shooters. BYU did so much better in this game on the ball than I've seen them do in such a long time, certainly way better than they did the other night against San Francisco. And that was the difference. I mean, Wilcher, he was fantastic. That's an All-American player, no question about it, even a National Player of the Year type of a guy. And yes, he had 35 points. But he had to work so hard for every point he got. Nothing was uncontested. And BYU made it so difficult on the rest of the team that everybody just kind of stood around and watched him make buckets because nobody else was effective because BYU's defense as a team was so good. It was a fantastic defensive effort. I know that Dave Rose, after the game, was happy, but when he watches that film, he's going to even get a bigger smile on his face about the defensive effort of this team last night.
Blaine Fowler, BYU national champion. Follow him at BFowler16 on the Twitter machine. Our BYUtv basketball analyst with us as we break down Gonzaga and BYU. The Cougars winning for a second straight year in the kennel, 69-68. Blaine, break down what you saw in that final sequence with Kyle Wilcher going to the rim and then the Nate Austin block.
Yeah, it was, I thought, uh-oh. This is, BYU had a chance to close this thing out on the free throw line, and now Wilcher, who is a National Player of the Year type of guy, he's either going to get to the free throw line where he's one of the best, he's a 90+% free throw shooter, or he's going to make a bucket because he's literally unstoppable man-to-man. And BYU's team defense, first of all, Collinsworth was fantastic on him, and then Nate Austin coming over. It was a defensive gem. Just watching it, and I was watching it at our house with my boys, with Landon and Kellen, and they were like, are you kidding me? Nate Austin coming through in the clutch. And the thing that was impressive to me, the freshman in the big environment, crazy place to play, one of the toughest home court environments in the country. Gonzaga has a great home court. The freshmen, they saw the effects of that. Nick Emery, even though he made the game-winning shot, he struggled. He was pressing a little bit. Zach Sellius, who's been so good, he was pressing. But it was the seniors. Chase Fisher, phenomenal. Didn't settle for threes. Attacked the basket. Kyle Collinsworth, unstoppable in the second half. And Nate Austin, defensive gem after defensive gem all night long. So to me, you got to be really happy that on the road, when you needed senior leadership, your senior leadership stepped up in a big, big way.
And let's talk about Nick Emery's intestinal fortitude, because he goes 0 for 5 from the field. He has not scored, and then he catches an inbound pass and shoots an NBA 3, which is his only bucket of the game, and it is the game-winning shot. What does that say about Nick Emery?
Well, it is a testament to the confidence that he has. Great shooters have to feel like even when they're having an off night, well, that's crazy. This is an aberration. That's not me. I can make shots. If I just have one more shot, I know I can make it. And that's his mentality. That's what you want in a shooter. And he's not going to have very many off nights in his career. The good news is when he was kind of missing early in the game, you didn't see him go jack up 15, 16, 17 shots. He kind of settled in. Dave played minutes based on who was playing well, so Nick only played 18 minutes in that ball game, in spite of the fact that Kyle Collinsworth only played 29, hardly played in the first half. So I thought Dave Rose managed the game extremely well, and his staff on who to have on the floor and what to call offensively, to manage the fact that they weren't making outside shots. And then to answer your question, Nick Emery, the guy's just nails. He just plays with unbelievable confidence, and he's just going to get better and better and better as time goes on.
Does he not remind you a little bit of Robbie Reed with that shooter's mentality?
Yeah, and the lefty kind of a thing.
Yes.
Well, you're thinking, that lefty kind of a mentality and that mental toughness that he has. Yeah, he absolutely does. I think that Nick's a better pure shooter than Robbie, probably. Robbie, unbelievable defender, great on attack. But Nick, as I watched his high school career, I mean, his long-range capability and his ability to spot up and shoot is really, really at a high level. So, yeah, the future is unbelievably bright for Nick Emery.
Let's hope he doesn't transfer to Michigan his senior year like Robbie.
Better not do it.
Now you look at what's in store for BYU. To me, the door swings open for BYU to potentially win the regular season conference championship. It was just one game, but it was a big game. How does this change things for you, in your opinion?
Well, this to me wasn't a must-win game. We didn't get a chance to talk before the game because I was gone at the beginning of the week. But I figured if we talked, you'd say, did they have to win this? And my answer was going to be, no, they don't have to. They don't have to beat St. Mary's and Gonzaga on the road. They just have to beat them at home.
Yes.
Then get one of them in the tournament and beat them. So say you beat St. Mary's, you're 2-1 against St. Mary's, and you split with Gonzaga, even if you lost to them in the finals. If they take care of business, I felt like they could lose 3 more in conference, and it was going to be okay to lose. Well, that just put them one ahead in the ledger. If we're keeping track, we're going, wait a minute here. That's a bonus game now in terms of NCAA, qualifying and all of that. You would think they'd have the mental advantage coming home, although the Zags are going to come with it all. They got a full court against St. Mary's at home. It really puts them in the driver's seat for the conference championship, and it gave their NCAA at-large tournament hopes a huge boost last night. To me, that was a huge gravy. I was hoping they'd go up and compete and look good. But I felt like they didn't have to win. The fact that they won there is a boost like you can't believe in terms of the national respect that they're going to have for BYU right now.
Blaine Fowler joining us on BYU Sports Nation. Let's switch gears now and go to the football side. BYU hires 3 new coaches yesterday, and that is way down the list because of what BYU basketball did last night and pulled off in Spokane. But let's talk about the hires. Blaine, what do you think about the 3 new coaches on staff for Kalani Sitake?
Well, we're seeing a theme that just continues to roll out here with Kalani, and that is he is going to assemble a staff that he knows that can go out and recruit and can really nail down the top LDS kids in the country, and then a few other kids to put around them that are not LDS but are willing to live the standards and want this type of an environment. And with the 3 that they announced yesterday, you just get that again in huge number. I think Kafusi is a fantastic recruiter, and he's going to give some stability and some crossover to the Bronco Mendenhall era. One of the things I was worried about was when Bronco was there was this kind of separation between Lavelle Edwards era and the Bronco era, and the old players didn't feel like they were tied to it. I think there needed to be somebody from the Bronco era on that staff to tie all those players to the program and have them not feel like they're separated. I know that Kalani would do that, but now there's Coach Kafusi who knows all of the kids that have played for the last however many years. And it's going to be fantastic for recruiting because they're going to be able to take advantage of the alumni and the networks around the country, and you're going to see that recruiting picked up a huge, not just a notch, many notches.
I know you're friends with Mike Empey. What can you tell us about Mike Empey's return to BYU after 8 previous seasons as a coach?
It is a fantastic hire. One of the most important hires that Kalani's made, and here's why. Ty is one of the most unbelievable football minds there is, but he hasn't had to be a coordinator at this level. Mike Empey has coached at this level. He's game planned against teams that are caliber that they're going to play. He understands the logistics of what has to go on in preparation in the week to go there. He's been up in the box advising guys that have been calling plays for a number of years. It's going to be such a huge asset. But I also know that he brings an amazing toughness to his coaching style that's going to be much needed with that offensive line. You're going to see us get more recruits. BYU's going to get more recruits on the offensive line and greater numbers because of the staff. And then they're going to have a toughness and an edge to them because of Mike Empey. BYU used to put a player or two in the National Football League off of that offensive line annually. And they've gotten away from that. Think about it. It hasn't been a direct line to the NFL. That's going to change. You're going to see BYU, like Utah has in recent years, put a player or two in the NFL every year from up front. And that's going to be because of Empey. And, besides the fact, I can vouch. So Mike's worked with me the last 5 years. When he got out of coaching, I looked at his character and his leadership, and I hired him to come work for me. So I've worked with him every day for the last 5 years. And I can tell you that there is nobody that has higher character and drive and work ethic than that guy. He's going to be an unbelievable mentor and a great example to young men. I think he's a fantastic hire. I think it's one of the most important hires that Kalani's made.